joined here once more by my great colleague, Bren. Cloud9 versus eUnited. And Bren, we actually have an interesting story here where Cloud9 is so in flux, it is actually Nevix coming back in for Fisher.
Yeah, last minute change there just in the lobbies. I mean, they are still able to make substitutes and whatnot. It's going to be Nevix playing instead of Fisher this time. But all in all, Cloud9's roster has made some significant changes. And really, the questions are being raised, which the analyst desk, they hit it nicely. But how are they going to be coming up against this eUnited squad? One of the most consistent rosters in Europe. They had a bit of a poor performance in the previous week, but you know they've had a bit of time now to step it up. They had a few players away for the Overwatch World Cup. Now, let's see what they can do.
It'll be interesting, and the desk did compare eUnited to Rogue, but I think another more apt comparison, if you take a look at how eUnited starts out tournaments, is that eUnited, if you compare them to Immortals, both those teams tend to start tournaments a little bit slow and then gain power as the tournament goes on. And in eUnited's case, there is a very good reason as to why they might have started out slow with the Overwatch World Cup eating into their preparation time.
Yeah, absolutely. But moving on now, Cloud9, what are we expecting from these guys coming into this? Because, again, massive switch-ups of the roster. The previous week was a bit of a disappointing performance from the previous roster that they were running, but now they've changed things up. They've got Sinatra in. I mean, I'm looking forward to this guy and seeing what he can do here, because that man is an outstanding gamer, and it does seem like almost upgrades, a lot of upgrades in the essence of it, because they've still got Mozaza, they've still got Gray. Nevix as well had some great plays in the previous week. What are they going to do now with these upgrades? How are they going to match against eUnited, where they've been a consistent roster?
Well, one thing that I think is really worth noting when you look at Cloud9 is that we are in a meta where Tracer is very important. And though Kib has shown really good ability on Genji, his Tracer really wasn't quite up to the level of what you expect from a top Tracer player.
Yeah.
Now you have Sinatra in play, and Sinatra is an excellent Tracer. So it'll be interesting to see what he comes out with here.
All right, well, we will see soon enough. As we can see, the compositions just roughly teasing a few picks here and there. eUnited and Cloud9 going to be going for what they feel best. eUnited look like they're going to be sticking with, again, look at that traditional dive composition. It's the 2-2-2. They're running the Diva. They're running the Winston. And most importantly, they've got Boombox on his signature Zenyatta role, whereas Cloud9 rolling out with a very similar composition indeed. We're seeing them match head-to-head here in Lijiang Tower. ZP taking away for the first team fight.
Well, C9 and eUnited not wasting much time in engaging each other right here in the front on Night Market. It's going back and forth, both teams poking here early on. It's eUnited that's actually getting poked down more. C9 able to take a bit of an advantage here. They're going to force Sharik out of the fight early on, and Team Mac unfixed. A great opening here from C9, and Sinatra is not wasting any time in getting to work.
Yeah, this man's tracking is absolutely sublime, and he is definitely putting out a performance here. The first flip of the point will go to Cloud9. Potentially an early telling sign of what's to come here. And Sinatra's still going for the kill onto Valatage. This is a 1v1 I want to watch. Valatage ends up backing up to the safety of his own team. But look at this pulse bomb. He's already built it up. And again, this momentum building slowly. Nevix almost with a Dragon Blade as well.
That's just one fight there, Bren, but you're already seeing the difference that adding a Tracer player of the caliber of Sinatra can do for you. Yeah, he's coming in on the backline. Pulse bomb, does it stick? It does! He got it through the defensive matrix. A nice pickoff here from Sinatra to open this out.
Oh, Sinatra, man, he's honestly such a good player for this team, and he fits it so well. A decent Tracer player cannot be underestimated, and he just fits so nicely here into Cloud9. eUnited, now they've got to step it up a little bit. You know, we mentioned before previously they're having a bit of difficulty, but Valatage, he's waiting. He's going to go for the back cap here while the rest of the team are fighting out onto the point. Am I actually getting this? No. Neptuna will come back to try and contest him here, but the fight's still kicking off in the courtyard. Cruz Dragon Blade's being committed. As you can see, kills being flown all over the place. eUnited becoming out the victors in this team fight.
Well, the really good thing of what Valatage did there is that he pulled 2 back. It was a 1-for-2 trade because they didn't want to give up the point for free, and that let C9 come in from the front with the Dragon Blade and really take that fight well. So that was well executed by eUnited. A solid distraction and smart play that should be giving them this point.
All right, Mozaza's going to be committing the Primal Rage here to try and just prolong this point for as long as he possibly can. In fact, he's not really eating too much damage. He will finally go down, but that was a solid about 25% he just bought for his team by leaping in there. Pretty good trade, if you ask me.
No doubt about it. And this is a case now for eUnited where you take a look at this. One of their strengths is that they're a very intelligent team. They've been together for a long time. They have a big advantage in ult economy right now. So if they can just rotate these ultimates in an intelligent way, they might be able to maintain control. But C9, they sneak onto the point, and eUnited now has to move back in.
You're going to see some support ults committed here to Transcendences by both these teams. Post-bomb by Sinatra, that connects onto Morte. That's actually very huge. No more sound barrier for both these teams, actually, as both this Lucio players are going to be falling in the midst of it. Still, this fight will be prolonged out as we see Mozaza moving onto the point, or Sharik, I should say, with the Primal Rage, just trying to basically cause as much destruction as possible, and indeed he does, as he finds 2 kills off the back of it.
eUnited investing most of their ultimate advantage into this fight, but so did C9. C9 came in with about 4 ultimates of their own, so both teams using a lot of power, but it's eUnited standing above. Now, we'll see how long they can keep this up. A big threat, though, coming in. Nevic's about to get the Dragon Blade. Both Malzasa down, Bren. They're not really getting a good opportunity to use it here just yet. They must wait.
Interesting thing to note as well. I thought that Neptuno didn't use his samurai, but he did. He's wasted it. Now eUnited, they've got an advantage of these defensive support ults. Morte's holding onto his own sound barrier, which is going to be huge for them in the coming fight here. It's already 70%. We see a Dragon Blade up with Cruz. Definitely defendable for eUnited and could potentially roll forward into a win.
Nevic's down the hot seat. This is the moment to strike. The Dragon Blade is out. He's going to dive into the backline, but the beat is dropped and the sword must go away. But into the backline is Sinatra, opening up on both Boombox and Sharik. Now C9 with the opportunity to potentially flip this right back over.
And a find on the point. The Self-Destruct will push them off for now. Unfix actually manages to pick up a kill onto Mozaza with it. Nevic's still trying to find the Shuriken kills. Great tracking there. Does pick up the kill onto Mortain. The point is flipped. Now, there was a decent amount of cap time brought up for eUnited here, but they can regroup. They've got one more chance, realistically, to try and secure this one.
And eUnited, they're not in the greatest position here. They don't have a lot that they can rely on. They're going to have to win this on pure mechanics. Meanwhile, for C9, they have important ultimates up, at least in the idea of Primal Rage, where Malzasa can buy time and do disruption. Here, though, come the flankers from eUnited. In on the side as the front line comes in via the front. I like this approach. Now eUnited must dive in.
Yeah, this is the slow siege attempt. eUnited just trying to pick away piece by piece. Sinatra unleashes the post bomb in the back lines, but doesn't get the kill he was looking for. But the kills are going to be traded. Transcendence committed by both these teams, but it's going to be eUnited who are the ones on the back foot. They've already lost 3 of their players. The sound barrier from Cloud9 will most likely mean that this is going to be round number 1 going to C9.
And the problem there for eUnited is that if they had even about 10 more seconds, they could have delayed that fight a little bit longer to let Boombox get the Transcendence and then engage. They had to engage before it was up properly, and by the time Boombox was able to use the Transcendence, the opportunity was lost. eUnited was already down 2 players, and they simply did not have the punching power required to make that fight work.
Well, you notice now we're going to be moving to the control center of here in Lijiang Tower, and it's definitely suited for the Doomfist play. Nevix is teasing with it, Space is moving over to the Zarya, classic Zarya play himself, and it really is the map for Doomfist. Lots of tight corridors, lots of tight corners, which you kind of use that the rocket punch to try and get those one-shot capabilities, but we also see Cruz making the switch as well. The only difference in compositions being one side using the Zarya, one side using the D.Va.
I'm really curious to see how Cruz's Doomfist works out here, because he has been a bit of an Overwatch journeyman. He's gone to multiple roles, different heroes. He has shown versatility in the past. Now let's see if he can do well here. Nevix, though, in the backline for C9, waiting for the Sinatra to make some room, and C9's actually playing this a little bit further back.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you quite passively for that rocket punch, not quite connecting from Nevix. Still looking for the opportunities, and it will be Cloud9 with the positioning advantage. They have secured the point and the high ground for now. Nevix is searching for his next target. Still has the rocket punch available. Will connect it down to Unfix. Gets the seismic slam as well. Rising uppercut will get the D-Mech.
And that's basically a trade there. The Doomfist for the D.Va mech, but eUnited now getting the better edge on this here. So far as Cruz going to town into the backline. Cruz punching everything in his sight, but not Sinatra, who's able to shut him down. And now C9 can flow back onto the point.
And Sinatra is a real problem for this eUnited team. His tracking, his pulse bombs, they've been absolutely on point. But eUnited, they want to continue this fight up. The Transcendence trying to be committed here to save Morte there, but he just gets one shot by the rocket punch. It's not going to save him there. Now we see Nevix utilizing that meteor strike, unleashes it pretty early on, and does a decent amount of damage, but still even trades all around the space right now in this control center.
Nevix from the air, punching Cruz right in the mouth, getting rid of the enemy Doomfist. And that is the first capture of the point there, Bren, where that was going on for so long. It's actually just 8% for C9, so very even fight to start things out, to say the least.
That is crazy stuff. Multiple ultimates committed during that first engagement, and it's only just been capped off here. Now, Cloud9, again, in the driving seat. They've got 2 support ults available. Neptuno is very close to his sound barrier. A lot of emphasis on Valentine to make some plays happen with this pulse bomb. You see, the Transcendence was committed early on by Cloud9 there. The sound barrier as well going to be overlapped by both these teams. Our backline's going to be focused on Nevix will fall here, ZP. This could be good for eUnited.
eUnited really went out of their way to bring Nevix out of the fight. They didn't want that Doomfist being unleashed there. Space dropped the Graviton. Fall through wasn't there immediately, but Sinatra again is unchecked, moving in and around. Was able to get on Boombox with Neptuno, and he's been the threat here, where even though Valentine is moving around, he's doing far less than Sinatra right now, who's simply picking eUnited apart.
When you have a player as capable as Sinatra, this is the whole reason that Unfix is running the Diva here to try and basically peel for a Boombox here, but it's just not working. Sinatra is just playing around them time and time again, and still, a reminder, this fight's still kicking off. It's a very prolonged one. At that, finally, Sinatra will fall. Valentine commits the pulse bomb. It's a big one at that. It's a 2K for him. Following up, cruises there with a rocket punch, and they're finding the picks.
That was a big bomb. However, Gray able to equalize a little bit there, which means that C9 respawns when they come in. If they decide to go in now, they might be able to get eUnited a little bit off guard. However, C9 appears to be biting the top, but Sinatra in the back found Boombox. That's huge. He has now set up a 6v5 opportunity.
This is big. No more Transcendence for this fight as well. It's going to mean Cloud9 have the advantage as they initiate with their own Nevix, with his own rocket punch. The kills flowing in for Cloud9 now. This will most likely be the recap. Indeed, it will, as Valetaja will fall. Only 30% gained, really, for eUnited, and Cloud9 currently sitting high and mighty on a high percentage. What do eUnited have to do here, ZP, to try and get back into this?
What eUnited needs to do right now is that they might not realize it, but they do have a support ultimate advantage. They need to get back in quickly, use Transcendence for an engage, and set the stage that way. But C9, they're engaging him so far up that if Boombox transcends, which he does now, C9 can back out, and that might be what they're doing right now. They're going for the disengage.
Okay, Cruz picks up the kill onto Sinatra. This is pretty good for them so far. Cloud9 are losing a lot of players. Remember, 5% away from Cloud9 winning this first map. It needs to be said here. Still disengaged by eUnited. Now we're going to see the soundbar committed. The overtime ticks down. The Graviton surge only going to be connecting onto the one player here. Not quite finding anything actually with it. The overtime still ticking down here. Sinatra Valetaja tries to make plays into the back. Soundbar by eUnited only connects onto the 2 players. Overtime finally still going to be ticking down, but it's eUnited losing in the player battle here.
And what we're seeing from C9 is Space roasting and toasting, charged up right now, regulating here at the point, both with shields and damage. Malzasa going to lead his way in, diving in even deeper, pushing eUnited back, and eUnited unable to get onto the point. C9 picking up the map.
That is a big matchup, and I mean, that's something that I wasn't expecting at all coming into this. With the changes that Cloud9 made, with the fact that they didn't have long to practice, this is actually a phenomenal performance for them coming up against a team like eUnited, which, you know, before even Contenders started, I would have pinned to be the #1 seed coming into this tournament.
No doubt about it. And one thing I think is interesting here is that you think about the strengths of eUnited historically. One strength is that Valetaja, generally speaking, would get the better of his Tracer counterpart. That didn't happen here. The other thing that we've been seeing from eUnited in recent memory that we haven't seen in Contenders here so far is that Boombox, in the lead up to Contenders, would very often get early pickoffs, give eUnited free team fights. Boombox was not able to do that here. So eUnited, they're missing, effectively in a sense, 2 of their greatest weapons in taking team fights early, which is Valetaja landing early pickoffs and Boombox landing early pickoffs. And now it feels like they have to fight these fights more straight up.
I believe, honestly, the fact that Boombox isn't finding picks isn't actually a fault of Boombox himself. From what we've seen, I think it is just Cloud9 respecting him. Yes. Teams have learned to respect him now as one of the best Zenyatta players in Europe now. His right clicks, his predictions, time and time again, set eUnited up for victory. Realistically, at the start of an engagement, it wasn't uncommon back, you know, in the Takeover 2 tournament to just see Boombox initially gets the first kill every time in the kill feed. And realistically, moving on from this as well, I don't think eUnited are used to playing against Tracer players as capable as Sinatra. Like, Unfix is really struggling to put a check on him because Boombox is getting picked off a lot by him. Not necessarily a fault of Boombox himself, it's just Sinatra is just a fantastic player.
And to the point of teams adapting around Boombox, that's absolutely right, where teams have a lot of tape on Boombox. They know what he's going to be going for, and now, you know, maybe don't just charge out immediately, wait for the orbs to fly around the corner, and then once the orbs have passed, then is when you decide to go forward and move in. So he hasn't been getting quite the same opportunities. And to your point on Tracers is that, yes, Sinatra is a rare breed of Tracer player. He is incredibly good, and eUnited, again, they're used to winning the Tracer battles, which aren't necessarily happening right now.
Yeah, just think back to the first round there on Lijiang Tower. Sinatra somehow finding a pulse bomb kill onto Boombox, even though Unfix was peeling for him in the first place. Not many Tracer players can do that. Not many Tracer players are capable of making plays like that happen. And it is a huge detriment because, like I said, eUnited are not used to realistically playing against Tracers of this caliber. But now we do have the next map, CP. It's going to be Numbani that we're heading into. Numbani as a map we've seen a lot of Doomfist play, you know, a lot of Doomfist play. It's very much favoring it. I'm expecting the same thing over and over again from this. Both teams most likely going to be running the Doomfist on this one. I'd be surprised if they're not. What are you expecting coming into this? Are Cloud9 going to be rolling this one forward? Are eUnited going to be managing to get back into this?
If eUnited is going to get back into the series, Numbani is the playground that they're going to need to do it on, because I just really wane nostalgic anytime I see eUnited on this map, because for a team core that's been around as long as eUnited's, this has been their go-to map for well over a year, even before Overwatch was even released. So it is somewhat telling if eUnited is unable to win on a map that they've historically been very comfortable on. Meanwhile, for C9, if they take this map, they can feel very good about their chances of winning the series.
They can indeed. And from what we saw of Cloud9, I think the sort of high mechanical skill players they've got on the C9 roster, or the Cloud9 roster, I should say, definitely favor the control game mode as a whole. There's a lot less sort of room for strategy. You might see it every now and then. A player sort of plays the point to a degree and pulls the players back. You know, you can make plays happen when it comes to that the tactical overview of the game in a whole. But you know, looking at these hybrid game modes like Numbani, there's a lot more room for strategy, a lot more room for different approaches in the way you attack and defend certain checkpoints here. So this could be where eUnited shine. And as you rightfully mentioned, eUnited, this is one of their favorite maps dating way back.
So I'm thinking Gray will swap off the Doomfist here, but what if he doesn't? It's 8 seconds. Let's reserve judgment here for a moment, but this would be a one support offense.
Could be doable.
With unbridled aggression, and Gray,
he's doing it.
Oh
He's
my
doing
goodness.
It,
the only support on the field right now for C9 is the Lucio. I'm excited to see what happens here and if Gray can make this work.
It's not, you know, it's not every day that we see these solo support compositions, but look at this aggression by Cloud9. That's what you can do when you've got such overwhelming damage output. Gray will eventually get taken down, but not before setting his team up for 2-4 kills running into this. eUnited are just dropping like flies here, and as they clean up the remaining players, this should definitely be their point to cap. They should at least get 2 ticks here.
Well, there is an old adage here, Bren. You don't need healing if you just kill everyone, which is exactly what C9 did. And they had a plan in mind. Their plan was find Boombox, kill Boombox. Boombox was deleted in the very beginning here from an incredibly aggressive dive. Sinatra just piles on. This multi-DPS setup with only one support has caught eUnited completely off guard.
Boombox falling again. The ticks coming up. This will be the cap going their way. Cruz, a valiant effort, but he will eventually fall in the midst of the streets, and that is a 5.5-minute timer right now as they've just capped that first checkpoint. And noticeably, Gray, he switched to the Soldier 76 just for the tail end of that fight so he could get back into the fight quick enough, but now he makes a switch to Zen. This is important to note, ZP, because now that they've basically putting Gray off a support hero means that they're now with an ult disadvantage coming into this next fight, which can be very important in the long run.
Well, they would be at an ult disadvantage if they didn't have such crazy momentum through first right now, because they still have an edge going through here. eUnited got rolled over. Now they're going to have to use Primal Rage to buy some time or get a pulse bomb to even things out. But Nevix with the blade in the back. Again, taking down Boombox. Boombox is their favorite target, but Cruz is bringing it right back.
Cruz definitely so. The pulse bomb committed there by Sinatra, but he gets taken down by Morte in the end. A lot of players down from Cloud9. Space has to just back his way out of there. Will survive in the end and not get desuited. Important to note that. eUnited, now they have found their footing. They have found a foothold here in the street space. Now, it's not common. The teams generally sort of get holds here in the street space. They'll be playing remarkably well. And Cloud9, they definitely have the ultimates to use here, the raw mechanical skill to try and create an opening to really take advantage of.
And eUnited, at the very least, they can even this out. So C9, they're going to open up the sound barrier here early on. Meanwhile, Cruz, he's going to wait this out. Gets Gren to the back and still has the blade. Cruz, waiting for his opportunity and might have to use it soon. It's Sinatra getting what he needs in the front. Now Cruz looking to be the equalizer. The blade is out, in the high ground, diving down, not able to get what he's looking for early on, as C9 is able to win on the outskirts, and they will be pushing this payload forward.
That was a case of a fight that was won almost within the first 10 seconds because Boombox and Morte fell almost immediately. When you're lacking the Discord Orb, when you're lacking the heals, the speed boost, the utility that your supports provide, you're not really going to be realistically winning a fight unless somebody just goes Super Saiyan. You know, if Cruz whips out the blade and goes ham, but that just did not happen. And Cloud9 rolling this one further. 5 minutes here, ZP, and they've already got it up to the second checkpoint.
If you're a fan of eUnited, though, you might be able to take a sigh of relief. Not only is Voltalia cleaning things up as Cloud9 goes a little bit too deep, Sinatra's special adventure right now, notwithstanding, where he is on a secret mission, but eUnited has held on last point Nambani for an incredibly long period of time in the past. This is where they're comfortable. 5 minutes isn't anything to them as Sinatra.
I'm so
He's in a bit of trouble.
Okay, his team is there to support him. Oh, that was close. That was a close one. But now we see Cloud9 are looking to initiate in. Boombox using the Transcendence early on, trying to keep his team alive. Gray still holding on to his binding, will pop it off, which means currently now Nevix, that's time to whip out the blade. Sambar will negate that. Not a bad trade for Cloud9 as it stands. Even if he did get no kills with it, it wasted 2 support ults as a result. And Sinatra getting that D-Mech in the back lines will be huge for them into the coming fight.
Unfix was trying to support Boombox there, and Sinatra says, no, actually, I'm going to kill your diva, then kill Boombox. Absolutely crazy stuff from Sinatra into the back line. Still tearing through eUnited here, and though eUnited has done a bit to even this up, C9 should be able to get some progress forward here.
Sinatra, again, still alive. The soundbar will connect on multiple members here. The Cloud9 side tries to just defend the point to a degree. Cruz will fall as well. And Cloud9, again, the momentum accrued. They're rolling this one forward further and further. Boombox went for the prediction orbs. I don't know if you spotted that. Just slightly going past Sinatra's head there. But still, the kills are just rolling in for them. And eUnited, they need a hold here. Valentine needs to go ham with a pulse bomb. Shahak just needs something. They need something right now.
Well, the pulse bomb comes in, and it does not get what Voltalia is looking for here early on. Now Sharik has to buy some time here at the Primal Rage. He's under fire here early on. Is he going to pop it? Yes. Sharik will be using the Primal Rage. Forced out early on as Sinatra again. Unfixed is his favorite target.
How does he find these pulse bombs time and time again? But Unfixed sending in the South Strike. That picks up great. That's pretty big. That will stall things out as now it is Cloud9 that are missing that Discord Orb, the healing, and as a result, they're just going to be dropping and losing these players. Now, the important thing to note here is that eUnited, they've got no ultimates online. And if you take a look at Cloud9, I mean, you guys aren't blind at home. You know, you can see Nevix has the Dragon Blade, Gray with the Transcendence, Malzaza with the Primal Rage. This is Cloud9's fight to win.
This is C9's window because getting through last point Nambani is hardly an easy task. This is where they need to simply execute. Sinatra won't have a grab because he just swapped, but there's so much to be said here for Transcendence in the Dragon Blade. So C9 right now, going to take it slow. They should realize they have a bit of an advantage here. And though eUnited's poking him from the back, Sharik's going to take a lot of damage, and now C9 off the pick. They have a great opportunity to go right in.
I love this pick here. Sinatra on Nazaria, bubbling up the players. The Transcendence gets forced out early on, but eUnited are trying to keep themselves alive in this fight for Cloud9. Now, Nevix's turn to strike back. Whips out the Dragon Blade, not finding the targets realistically like he's looking for, and the Sambar will concatenate on top of Cloud9 as they try and bring this fight further forward, and they're fighting the pick CP. It's all in their favor. Cruz trying to clutch it out with the Dragon Blade of his own, but he's getting absolutely nilch.
Cruz getting chased down by not one, but 2 tanks. Thrown away, even with the blade out. C9, a big opportunity here. Sinatra has what could be a finishing graviton. There's the sound barrier, but there's the grab. All of eUnited getting to know their neighbor way too closely. As C9 moving it forward right now. Every kill going to them. Sinatra's finishing grab has done its job here so far. Boombox looking to get in, but no, not in time. C9 will be finishing out Nambani with 1:30 left.
A pretty standard time, I suppose, for a minute 30 for a Numbani finish. Impressive series of switches all around. In fact, I think what I'm most impressed by is Cloud9's sort of flexibility. You know, running Gray initially into the initial fight on the Doomfist and also the Soldier 76. And Sinatra here, this is the man I want to talk about because he's had a standout performance in the Zarya switch in the final moments. eUnited were not expecting this at all.
No, they weren't, and let's just remind everyone at home that Sinatra, in terms of Zarya play, might be the fastest building Zarya in terms of ultimate in the West. He's very good at getting very quick gravitons off, and we saw it there where he opened that fight with 0% charge, and then got a crucial graviton towards the end to seal that deal where, who knows, under other circumstances, you roll out with the Sound Bearers United, maybe you find a way back in. But it's difficult when you're stuck in a graviton.
Yeah, the fact that Sinatra has the cojones to just switch to Zarya in the final point when there's only a few minutes left, you know, not every Zarya player is going to be able to build a graviton surge in that time, but Sinatra, he's not worried about that. He gets the energy, gets the charge, you know, and he gets fired up. He finds the gravitons when his team need them. Now, we see the side switched up. Cloud9 are going to be on the defense, and another interesting composition, another switch up. They're running double hit scan, double dive, but instead of running Neptuno on the Lucio, they've got him on a Sombra, which is, I think, a fantastic pickup here. Cloud9 as a team, Neptuno is a great Sombra player, but it's interesting they don't have Gray on that role.
Well, you've hit on the key point here, which is that normally Gray is known for his very intelligent Sombra play. We know that he is the shot caller for C9. He was a shot caller for Laser Kittens back then, and he's very proud of his calls, particularly in how it enables his Sombra play. So this is a bit of a different look, both for Gray and Cloud9.
Neptuno has ran Sombra in the past at a Takeover 2 tournament. I remember Hollywood first defense. He ran it with the solo support. But all in all, again, this is a different squad. It's a different team. Cloud9 are running, you know, entirely new members. So this is going to be an interesting take on it. Let's see how they manage to do with this. And I still believe we're not seeing enough Sombra in this tournament. She's one of these sort of underlying features here. Neptuno in the back is just trying to build up his EMP as quickly as possible.
He's not building up very quickly at all here so far. The health packs haven't really been used to build it up here in the beginning, but Unfixed a little bit too far deep. Double teamed by Space and Sinatra and DMAC'd, and really Unfixed has been a weak point that C9 has been devastating this entire time. However, to your point, Voltalia taking down Neptuno. Now perhaps an opportunity for United where they still don't have to worry about an EMP.
Absolutely. So Neptuno now, even though he is playing Sombra, you know, she can get back into the fight in a very rapid way. She's about 60% onto the ult right now. So struggle. Voltalia is in the back lines again. He's just creeping and crawling, just being a nuisance, just hanging about. You know, he's saying, "You're right, guys. Can I just chill with you guys for a bit?" While the rest of his team, United, now diving in, looking for the opportunities, all the kills. You see Nevix is playing the low ground. Voltalia is still just hanging about right now, and it does look like United are finding a foothold.
United's doing much better here. Unfixed was not DMAC'd early on, instead heavily supported and diving in even deeper. 3 kills for Unfixed, and that should be enough for United, with the help of Volatilia's cleanup, to get this point comfortable.
See, a tactical visor was being used by Nevix there. I think that was on the low ground to the point, which is why you see all of eUnited just hiding right now in the midst of it. Now Neptuno moves in with the EMP, but a perfectly timed sound barrier by Morte means that's going to completely counteract any effect of it. He was hiding absolutely wonderfully around the corner there. Primal Rage by Marzaza will buy him a bit of time, and this could give an opening for Cloud9 to try and recontest, but with that self-destruct around the corner, Unfixed has something to say about it, and he will find those two kills, securing his team the victory in this one.
Unfixed able to come out with style after getting focused down most of the series here so far, including the first round Numbani. United switches up. They give Unfixed more support, they keep him alive, and he's able to do all sorts of damage to the people that would otherwise be trying to demech him. So now United have set themselves up here pretty well. This is where you can get some momentum going into second.
Ultimate's wise. We see Shark, he's holding on to that Primal Rage. Cruz also has the Dragon Blade, and important to note, no support ults on the side of either team here, but Nevix with the Swift Strike, that's all the damage he needs to bring down Boombox, and it's finding even trade across the points here. Really, Shark now looking to focus down to the backlines, will pick up that kill onto Gray as well. Still holding on to his ultimate, will choose to pop off the Primal Rage for now, see if he can get a pick or 2 with it, knocking his players around all over the map. Oh, he gets it, Shark, man! What a player! Finding those entries for his team.
Sharik wanting the members of C9 to explore the better parts of Numbani, the outdoors, and now for eUnited, they take that fight very convincingly. They have momentum, and Cruz with a Dragon Blade into this next fight. And for C9, this is where they have to look to Sinatra. They've looked to him over and over again in the series here so far, but this is where if Sinatra is able to land a pulse bomb here to buy some breathing room, maybe big, and there it is! Sinatra answering the call.
Oh my goodness, what a pulse bomb. And as you mentioned, ZP, that's all they needed to get a foothold back into that defense. eUnited, they're scared, they're cowering, they're going straight back to their base. And goodness me, let's take another look at this one because that was fantastic and we get to see it from Sinatra's perspective as well. They just weren't expecting this at all. Oh my goodness.
And Cruz just going, wait, why was I so close to you, Sharik? I don't understand why I've done this to myself.
Valtar's backcapping here. What?
Well, sneaky.
I don't
wait, is this
believe
happening?
They must realize, surely.
No.
Oh, yeah. No, Neptuno knows. He's coming back, he's coming back. Thank goodness.
Oh.
It's getting a bit sweaty there for a second, but no, the team now, that's actually crucial now because he's brought them all the way back here, ZP.
Bren, C9's had experience with this. They don't want that to happen. Let's just put it that way. Malzasa able to take down Valtaya, though. Punished for his sneakiness, and C9 recovering quite well. Malzasa making good space, and Nevix and Sinatra there on the cleanup.
It's interesting because that technically was going to be eUnited's fight to win. Valataja pulled a few players back, forced the fight away from them. That was time to strike for eUnited, but they just couldn't capitalize off the back of it.
Now let's talk about framing right now for eUnited, where they're behind where C9 was. In fact, they've been held up in second far longer than most teams get held up here. Now for eUnited, in terms of going forward here, they need to layer their support ultimates really well, use it with the Dragon Blade, because if they somehow lose this next fight here, Bren, it might bode ill for the rest of the map. But here they go.
And here we have a Cruz just patiently holding on to his own. Dragon Blade as it stands, just strikes in. We're going to see ultimates used all over the goddamn place. And Sinatra space the double kill, however, with his own self-destruct, finding the kills. Now Nevix utilizing that Dragon Blade to full effect, leading it in. The defense, Cloud9, holding strong. A minute 20. This is most likely going to be, again, another one fight for Cloud9. What is going on here, ZP? They committed so many ults to Cloud9, they still have a Transcendence.
It was a disaster for eUnited, where Cruz didn't feel comfortable pulling up the Dragon Blade. They weren't able to layer the ultimates the way they needed to, and to top it off, as you mentioned, Gray still has a Transcendence, so eUnited is in a world of hurt, because Cruz now has to bait out the Transcendence and hold on to that Blade. He doesn't want to just trade a Blade for a Transcendence, not when you're down to the final fight.
There we have it, the Transcendence was forced out early. That was almost a win condition for eUnited here. Cruz still holding onto his Dragon Blade, Valataja just holding onto the pulse bomb, unleashes it, won't actually connect anything, and no kills falling for either side, but finally they answer back. Boombox is there with the Discord Ords. Cruz finding the picks where it counts. 4 picks for the team as Space will get demeched in the midst of this fight, means that this should be the second checkpoint. 1 for eUnited, thankfully, but the issue is time now, ZP. Time is the name of the game, because with this, I believe, what do they get now? An extra minute and a half, so 2 minutes. They've got hardly any time at all to push into this final checkpoint.
And the thing is, for last on the Bonnie, you need time. It's one of the hardest points in the game to get through. And just note there, in terms of win conditions, eUnited forcing out the Transcendence from Gray, very important. However, now C9 being a little bit more aggressive here, but with Gray going down, eUnited now with a great opportunity.
This is the momentum they needed. eUnited are rolling it forward. Nobody's taking care of Boombox. He's just discording and plowing people all over the place right now. Has the Transcendence to boot, and this cart will move forward. 1 minute 20 seconds, rolling it in. They've got 2 support ults. Cloud9 nowhere near. Sinatra makes the last minute change to Zarya. I mean, I know you're good at Zarya, Sinatra, but are you realistically going to be able to build a Graviton in this time?
20 seconds later, Brad, he might just be proving you wrong, or right, whatever your right view here, as C9 coming back in. Nevix holding on to the Dragon Blade right now. eUnited, they have the support ults to layer in here, so this is a winnable fight, and now they go. Boombox opening up Transcendence will be keeping them healthy. Cruz gets healed up immediately, there's the barrier, and here comes the Blade.
Wonderful ult usage coming out from them. Unfix collects the first kill. The soundbar by Cloud9 will keep them off their backs for the time being. Cruz's Dragon Blade will get completely denied up, but that does not mean that eUnited cannot claim the kills off the back of it. They've already found 2. They're looking for a third. Nevix trying desperately. He gets booped back. The cart is moving forward. Only 30 seconds remaining. It's in. It's going forward, and they've done it. They actually managed to cap it. They get a minute on the clock. eUnited securing the 3rd checkpoint.
I just feel bad for the Winston that got ran over by the payload there at the very end. That is cruel. Just move him out of the way. But eUnited getting through last point in Mbani in a quick way that is not often seen. That is a point that teams will get gummed up for 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time. But they knew what the stakes were. They were able to get an early pick onto Gray, and then they just kept the momentum rolling forward. So, and there's an interesting narrative there too, where if you think about how they got through second, they had to pressure Gray on early on. So as C9 has been putting a lot of pressure on the Boombox, so has eUnited now been putting a lot of pressure on the Gray.
It really needs to be emphasized how incredible that last push by eUnited was, because it's so rare that teams even actually, you know, Numbani last point is so favored to the defending side, mainly because of the spawn advantage they've got, but eUnited somehow, again, finding the picks, finding momentum, not even losing plays in the midst of it, and somehow getting actual time on the board here. They got a minute to work with, and when it comes to defending this first point, you know, a minute is sometimes all it takes, but eUnited, the win condition here is they need to win the initial fight. They need to win it in a very rapid fashion, and they need to do it now.
Sometimes for Numbani, you can get a second attempt, but if they get wiped on the first attempt, their second attempt is not going to be very high quality at all. So, to your point, eUnited, if they want to have a crazy Numbani rush, which we've seen plenty of times where a team will get first and get second in overtime, they do need this first fight to go well for them, and Volatile is the one to watch here. If he can get an early pickoff, it would be huge for eUnited.
It's the slow prod, the slow siege by eUnited. That initial pick, Nevix, he finds Boombox. That is not great for eUnited whatsoever. Can they turn this one around? They're desperately trying to play around the point here. They jumped into the backline, so Natural will fall, but not before taking out the trade on Shark. And this should realistically mean that eUnited, they need to reset this because Cloud9, they've got the player advantage. If they find a pick, however, DP, this could be big.
Volatile right now looking for anything, but both supports for C9 working so well together, he's not able to get the pickoff he's looking for. Instead, getting zoned out. Now, down to the final 10 seconds here for eUnited. This is all sorts of rough. Unfixed, not in his mech right now. Has to build it up, but he has to get onto the point here. Final 2 seconds. eUnited, last hope.
They need to contest it, as you mentioned, the overtime starting to burn down. Everyone from Cloud9 is on the point. They need to focus down. These plays post-bomb by Valu. Will it collect the kill? Yes, it will, but not before being traded out equally. Now we see Gray committing the nano boost. Cruz using his Dragon Blade to see if he can get absolutely anything here, but the players of eUnited, they're all dead. Valatage, the only man alive, and he's got a hell of a act in front of him to perform. The overtime finally crawls down, and it will be not even a single tick on the board for eUnited here. Oh boy, Cloud9, they got 2 minutes to make something work.
C9 has all the power in the world here, where the worst case scenario for them would be a draw. The best case scenario would simply be getting one tick and winning the map. And if you think about the very first attack here, where C9 was ridiculously strong, ran the one support setup and just powered through eUnited, it's a tall order for eUnited to go from just getting run over like that to holding off one tick for 2 minutes.
2 minutes. For Numbani first defense, it can be possible. It's definitely doable, especially for a team like eUnited. I think if there was any team that was going to be able to do it, it would be them. But the question is, it's a tick, CP, you know, a tick that can just go in an instant. One slip up, one pick off, and it can mean the difference between a win and a draw here. So realistically now, what are we going to see between these two teams? Compositions-wise, again, very similar stuff. Not really pushing the boat out at all, just keeping to what they know.
Well, there is a difference here for C9, though, where C9, they came out with the Doomfist surprise strategy before. Now I think C9, it's looking like they want to play this a little bit more traditionally, where Gray will be opening up on the Zenyatta, which leads one to believe that they feel like the Doomfist strategy, where they only run one support, is more of a surprise rather than something that they would want to consistently use against the team.
Yeah, I gotta say right now, the win condition here for Cloud9 is if they focus down Boombox early enough, if Unfix can't peel for him effectively, this is almost certainly going to be a very quick round indeed. And they've got 2 minutes to only get 33% onto the point here. So, rolling out Mozaza in the lower area. They want to start to play this point. The high ground still being taken up by eUnited, but Cruz getting that initial pick. That is big.
The flank came in from the eUnited defense, and it worked out beautifully. It's a clean sweep for eUnited.
That's what they needed.
It's exactly what they needed here, because you take a look at the time, they're going to buy about 45 seconds here and charge their ultimates, which means that if C9 fails on the next push, eUnited will have the tools they need to make this defense work.
What a fantastic play by Cruz and Shark as well, to make the decision to go up onto the balcony and flank the flank. And Boombox getting the initial kill again. This is old school Boombox, ladies and gentlemen, that you're seeing. He gets the initial pick, the fully charged prediction shots.
Maybe Boombox just need to replace the batteries in the Boombox. If people don't remember those old days, there was like 8D batteries. It took a lot of power, but perhaps he's recharged.
He's bought so much time as well. That one pick onto Gray. You know, Zenyatta, he's not a fast-moving character. It takes a while for him to get back into the swing of things. And they've actually bought so much time. Already ticked it down to 40 seconds EP. This should be almost the final point here. Sinatra into the back.
Sinatra right now into the back line, looking for Boombox, who's getting supported by Morta here. But no, it's not enough. The backup comes in. The supports are down. And C9 on what could be a victory push.
Absolutely. It is all crumbling now around eUnited. Already about 20% for Cruz. What is this, man? He's just gone back in. I don't believe what I've just seen. Nevix, he gets a swift strike. It's a 1v1 Valentaja versus Nevix. He's so weak. Nevix was it. Oh my goodness, man. What is that? Get out of here, Cloud9. Get out.
Well, C9 was able to finish out the map, but not without Cruz unleashing the inner beast there at the very end. It was the most valiant of efforts that I think we've seen in trying to bring a fight back. But the problem is that the opening coming out there from Sinatra, supported by the tanks, was just too much for eUnited to recover from, even with Cruz just going absolutely insane.
I think I'm dying, TP. I think I'm dying. What was that in the final moments? That was so incredibly tense in the final moments there. Nevix, if he didn't hit that shuriken, that would have been a completely different story. Completely different. We're going to see a replay.
We need this. Normally we would send this to the desk, but no, we need the instant replay. We're greedy. Here comes Cruz, where everyone's dead around him, and Cruz goes, no, I am my own army.
If Nevix didn't hit that melee when Cruz is going through him, that was incredibly close. My goodness, what a play all around. What a play.
All right, well, to break down that action, maybe go to that replay 2, 3, 4, 100 more times, we're throwing it to the desk.